All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this.
Hi,
So
YouTube.
as a lot of you guys may or may not know, CohhCarnage has been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. I think he started even before I did, and I'm actually really curious to hear what he says.
Cohh here.
Oh,
Good to
grinded
see ya.
2.0
Sorry, I've
release?
been a
I
little
didn't know
bit
that.
absent lately. Wanted to explain the situation, give you guys a little update. So, as many of you guys know, especially those that frequent YouTube and Twitch, I am in a Final Fantasy XIV hole. Yes, I am. I'm having a great time in Final
See,
Fantasy.
you know how he said he's in a hole, and he's like, you know, the implication is like he's like devoting his life to it, and he said it with a smile. He was so happy. That's what gamers are waiting for. That's what they're looking for right there.
14. You know, I started
Yeah,
this as a charity
that's
goal
what they're
to do a
looking
main
for.
Story. My big caveat was that I was going to do it at my own pace. Well, it turns out my own pace is a little bit quicker than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I was thinking that most likely I would play the game and, you know, probably not get hooked. And I would just play it a little bit here and there in the cozy stream, just do the main story, you know, while I played other games. Turns out, for I think the second time in my gaming career, the first time being EverQuest, I have successfully fully returned to an MMO. I am just about as surprised as you guys are. As
Wow.
I've talked many times in the past about the kind of fire
Wow.
that you get when you
MMO
start an
gamer.
MMO. What happens to me and what
Yeah,
has
see, Cohh's a little bit older than I am, so he played EverQuest. Like, I know there was like people like whenever I was a freshman in high school, there were like seniors that played EverQuest, but I always thought that game was for losers. I'm gonna be honest, like I hated EverQuest and I never got into it.
happened to me.
I
for
did,
most of my life
I thought that's
is
what I
will
thought,
start
man.
an MMO, I will become completely invested, and a good way to think about that is it starts a little fire burning in you, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those feelings where you play other games and you're just thinking about playing that game.
Yeah.
Where you go to bed and you wake up and you're like, man, I can't wait to jump back in. And that's how I
Exactly.
feel when I get really kind of hooked in most MMOs. Now, on the
It feels
flip
so
side of
good,
that-
man.
On the flip side of that, what generally happens to me is as I start getting to the tail of an MMO, I'm logging in and there's not a lot to do. I got my gear in the raids and there's not a lot of new content.
Yeah.
What happens is that fire starts to go out.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
for almost every MMO that I've played, it is almost impossible to reignite that fire. And I've tried. I've tried that for games like Rift. I've tried that for games like Warhammer.
See, for me, I've never had that problem. Like, I've always been okay with just playing a game for a while, and then after that, I'm just done with it. And I stop, and I'm like, okay, this was fun for a while, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to get back into it, man. That's always been like my perspective. Like, I've taken breaks from MMOs and then come back. Like, it's almost good for me to take a break so I can like fully invest in like grinding 100%. Because sometimes ever a new patch would come out and I had already been grinding, it just takes me like a week to finish the patch and then I'm fucking done with that too. But if I wait for like maybe a few patches and before I really go hard and then I just fucking farm, like I've got 12 hours of content every fucking day.
Try to return to Age of Conan back in the day. Another game that I've seemed to be able to return to well is a game called EverQuest. And EverQuest every so often releases these things called progression servers, where it basically like resets the game back to when it came out. WoW has done something similar with WoW Classic.
Oh yeah.
And I have found that just due to my love of the world that I've been able to return to EQ. I've had a great time on multiple progression servers. We've had coalition guilds.
Yeah,
It's actually been a
yeah.
lot of fun. I'll probably return to EQ again in the future in some kind of cozy or casual capacity.
just never
and those
do
have
it,
been
man.
fun. So when I made this Final Fantasy thing, I was pretty much expecting to treat it like a single player RPG.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I agreed to do the story. I agreed to come back in.
Pop off,
Not
do what
really
you need
thinking
to
that
do.
fire's going to be reignited because, you know, I know my history and I know it doesn't really happen. And I'm just going to kind of slowly meander through it.
Yeah.
Well, I was wrong. And I think a big part of that is due to the incredibly warm reception of the Final Fantasy XIV community. I think a big part of it is the fact that I'm able to play with 511 of you every single day. and
Oh,
it's
who's
been
got the
an
guild?
absolute joy. We have an extremely
Yeah.
active FC of players that have kind of been helping me raiding and just being an
I
overall.
want to say like these two main reasons, the two reasons that he thought of first, right? I mean, obviously these might not be like in order in terms of like why, but like at least the two that he thought of first were people. It was people that he thought of. And family. Yeah, exactly. Family. That's what gets people invested in games, man. That's what gets people involved in these games, man. And if you have that, if you fucking have that, your game is going to go as far as you want it to. That's the truth. Like, having a community, that's the one thing that I think Final Fantasy really hits better than WoW. Like, you can talk about raids. Raids is like you can compare and contrast all day. PvP, compare and contrast all day. Armor, combat, etc. Compare and contrast all day. But the one thing that I think Final Fantasy does unilaterally have over WoW is that it has a more active and a more passionate community. Because the community has been really positive to me too. Right? I mean, they definitely have. Now, obviously, you know, like if I was negative about the game, I don't think it would have been that much the case. But overall, I have had criticisms about Final Fantasy, and people didn't mauled out over it, right? Whenever I said, like, I didn't like how there was, like, the animation, like, you were animation locked and stuff like that. I didn't like that. And, like, people were like, yeah, I can see why you feel that way. Or, you know, I was said, like, it's annoying to use the store and, like, buy the game and everything. Like, people were like, yeah, that's true. And so I think that to a certain degree, for me, like, because also y'all got to remember, like, I am very used to dealing, like, you guys compare us to, like, Quinn or whatever, right? But, like, I'm saying, like, for me, like, I am so used to dealing with fucking people getting mad. Like, I already, like, whenever I say anything, I'm already calculating how mad somebody could get based off of this statement.
We go on giant fishing trips pretty much. We now have a nightly fishing trip at 8 p.m.
That's cool.
Where literally pretty much half the guild that is online, which is generally tons and tons of players, we all meet up in Limsa and we just go on a big fishing trip. It's been really, really cool. And I'm really enjoying my time.
Yeah, that's badass.
3 different classes now. I've kind of settled on Samurai. I've got another class I haven't even played yet. I'm actually really enjoying the main story, especially after 2.0. Funny enough, I've enjoyed the 2.0 post content more than I did the pre content.
Really? That's what I'm on.
I'm working to, and I'm not even to the good stuff yet. That's the part
yeah,
that's crazy.
That's the part I'm on.
The good stuff yet. The good stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Is from all accounts that I've heard.
It's in Heavensward.
The stuff that really picks up in Heavensward.
Yeah, that's
what
I've heard too.
Into
Storm
something.
Yeah, Stormheim.
And then there's a Shadow. I don't really know, but I know that there's 3 expansions to go through, and apparently they're really good. Stormblood, thank you, and then Shadow.
You're welcome.
Bringers. Yeah. And I'm actually at this point pumped to get to them. Like I'm excited to get to them, which is one of the reasons I'm playing them so much. Now, let's go back to the purpose of this video. I'm super enjoying it. I'm having a great time. I'm pretty much playing it each day between like 6 and 8 hours.
That's a good start.
I am doing a little streams
impressive.
here and there.
Yeah,
I've been doing some sponsor streams lately because I figure it's a good opportunity to not only, you know, make some extra money, which is pretty much all going into the new house I recently purchased, but it's also a good opportunity to put some variety on the channel for projects I'm interested in. But the big thing, and this is kind of the only kind of downside to all of this, is my YouTube guy, Red Eye Monster, as many of you know on YouTube, has been searching diligently for any kind of like hard messaging from Square Enix about what we can put on YouTube and what we can't. And what we have found is that there are some public TOS things saying that we can put stuff on YouTube. We have found other official documentation saying there are parts that we can't put on YouTube. We have found lists of songs that we could have told had not been able to put on YouTube. We've also seen official stuff from official sources, but not in actual documents, saying that some cutscenes could in the future be problematic. TLDR, we are still not confident in putting the playthrough on YouTube.
I think that, like, I mean, that does suck because, like, the reality is 99% of the time, like, nothing's going to happen. But, like, obviously, CohhCarnage is extremely meticulous and very, very tight about making sure that he's not going to do anything that will get him in trouble or whatever. Like, I know, obviously, people have been fine with me watching them. It's total, we've never had a problem, etc. But, you know, to me, I think it's honestly probably just a culture barrier. Because I'm sure that if they understood it the way that, like, the way people consume content here in the US, they'd probably be more okay with it. But it's just a culture difference.
So what we're going to do until then is we are going to do little updates, kind of tell you guys kind of like what we're doing now. I'm letting you know I'm having a great time. I'm still playing it. I've really enjoyed the content so far. I'm currently working through 2.3. Hopefully we're going to wrap up 2.3 today. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Maybe at some point we'll get some official notification on us being able to put like gameplay stuff up and not cutscenes. I don't know. But right now, You can find the entire playthrough all on the Twitch VOD system, cohh.tv/FF14VOD. I very much
That's an ad? Of course
that
it's
we
an
can
ad.
one day move all this
Yeah,
stuff
of course
to
it
YouTube,
is.
and that's one of the reasons we are collecting it. Once we get any official word from Square Enix that this is
Yeah,
okay,
duh, it's an ad.
then we are planning on hopefully going to move it to YouTube, and it will be a giant playthrough available throughout the annals of history.
That'd be cool.
However, Square Enix is kind of known for being relatively vague on this stuff, and I've asked them in an official capacity twice and not received a response. So
I feel like as long as it's not Nintendo, you're probably gonna be okay.
don't hold your breath.
Yeah, as long as it's not Nintendo.
So again, if you're wondering why you haven't seen a lot of YouTube content lately, it is because I am thoroughly addicted to Final Fantasy XIV.
There you
I'm
go,
loving
dude.
my journey there. I have
There you
played it a
go,
lot,
dude.
and I kind of have a lot
Yeah.
to go. And I'd love
There
you to
it
stop by the
is.
channel, twitch.tv/CohhCarnage. I'm streaming it anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day, and that's kind of where we are. So, yeah. On that note, we do have a RimWorld playthrough coming up. I do want to be doing
I can't watch RimWorld, man, because I just think of Rim Job. Like, I can't watch the game. I can't do it. Like, every time I see the name, I cannot get over it. But I can't. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I see somebody playing a game, I'm like, that's nasty. I don't want to watch that game. And it sounds so stupid. And why? Because it is stupid. But that's the way my brain works. That's nice.
I think that's about it.
So
So, appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you in the channel, twitch.tv/CohhCarnage. I will continue to do
That's
these
a
little
nice
videos.
thing to
We'll
say,
probably do
dude.
one of these videos when
Yeah.
we get to Heaven's Ward, when we finish Heaven's Ward, when we
like
finish
update
Stormblood, when
videos?
we
That's
finish
cool.
Shadowbringers, probably like a
I like
big
that.
final thoughts thing. It should be a lot of fun. So we will kind of like try to keep you guys as posted as we can while we can't show you,
Applause,
the actual
please.
stuff. Thanks, chat. All right, guys. See you on the channel. Bye-bye.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I like the video. He's a nice guy. He's a very, very nice guy. I like it, man.